Welcome back. While the violence in Sudan and especially in the town of Tambura, have forced thousands of Sudanese to flee the place and leave their homes, and this news was reported by the UN mission there. The details in the following report.
Thousands of people have been forced to flee their homes in South Sudan's western Equatoria state following weeks of violence in the town of Tambura and its surrounding areas, according to a UN mission in the country. The mission, known as the UN Mission in South Sudan UNMISS, said on Friday that COM had returned to the area following the violence, which saw many of those displaced taking shelter near a temporary UNMISS base. Colonel Shams Satiq, a UNMISS senior military observer, said the mission was continuing to monitor the situation and trying to bring the violence under control. Meanwhile, in South Sudan's northern Bahr al-Ghazal state, political parties and civil society organizations in the region agreed an action plan with the aim of holding free and fair elections in 2 years' time. UNMISS hosted the 3-day political parties forum on the city of Awiel. 8 political parties and 7 civil society groups attended the forum, where officials signed a plan which aimed to create an inclusive, secure, and participatory civic and political space ahead of the planned vote in 2026. In September, the government in South Sudan postponed elections scheduled for December of 2024 for 2 years, citing the need to complete processes such as a consensus, the drafting of a permanent constitution, and the registration of political parties. The new election date is set for December 22, 2026. It is the second time the country, which seceded from Sudan in 2011, postponed elections and the extended transitional period that started in February 2020.
Concerning the discussion between and negotiations between the Foreign Minister Badr Abdel and Chad President concerning the impact of the situation in Sudan on Chad and Egypt. We have the pleasure to have with us over the phone our dear guest, Dr. Ahmed Ossam, member of the Egyptian Council for Foreign Affairs. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Well, Dr. Osama, the discussion between the Foreign Minister Badr Abdel and the President of Chad on the impact of the situation in Sudan on Egypt and Chad, and the timing of this discussion and its importance.
Truly, the timing is very important, as we all following up, we have changes on a daily basis, more accelerating more than before, and the kind of cooperation for building development, security, and security for all countries, and the national security for Egypt is a must in this very critical time. And we hope that we can keep in consideration all of the evaluation of the global power and geopolitical changes in the region, in Africa, and the more of cooperation declarations is happening. So it needs a new reform of foreign affairs policy towards all of the issues to avoid any kind of crisis and to build for a better present and future.
Yes, also during his visit to Chad, Foreign Minister Badr Abdelati was accompanied with a delegation in order to discuss business delegation. I mean, how do you see the importance of and the role of the private sector in bringing countries closer and benefiting and experiencing from each other?
This is a very important and most important point in a kind of cooperation between the countries to build bridges through business cooperation and partnership to reform the Egyptian economy and to build bridges with the countries in Africa and worldwide for more of cooperation and more of engagement to have common benefits together for the sake of the nations of all countries.
Dr. Ossam, how do you weigh on the benefits of activating the African Continental Free Trade area?
It's very important point, and it could be happened long time ago, as Egypt lost a lot of its weight in Africa. So these kind of cooperations and free trading between us will bring more opportunities, more good business opportunities, better economy for all sides. So it's a must, and maybe Egypt will gonna regain its involvement in Africa through this free trading declaration.
Yes, with the 2024 coming to an end, how did you evaluate the efforts or the role of Egypt concerning its approach towards Africa?
Egypt is facing a hard situation, but with the foreign policy they are trying to maintain the relationship, and hopefully that we will reach out for a kind of mutual understanding with Ethiopia and Somal and the other countries. Hopefully that we will find by the end of the Sudan crisis to find out a kind of peaceful agreement, whatever it will gonna be, but just to have stability and security for people and to have a life again in Sudan. Egypt is a part of Africa and is one of the leading countries in Africa. So I hope so that we will have a better future together.
Yes. So how do you expect the BRICS bloc would do during the year 2025 with a number of African states besides South Africa, of course, joining the bank, also Egypt, and being accepted by the grouping?
With the BRICS and more African countries' involvement is good as an idea. The challenge is how they will going to deal with the new administration of Trump in the United States, as they having warning for the countries of BRICS. So we have opportunities and there are a big challenge. So let us wait and see and hope that in the same with the foreign policy, we need to be open-minded, to be open and bridging to all sides, to avoid any kind of crisis, and in the same time to be ahead of any kind of crisis could happen. It needs a strategic policy with the foreign affairs, and I hope even the Egyptian writers and the Egyptian experts, they are naming them, because they are writing a lot of articles, but it's not ever to the point. It seems like they are not aware of what's happening around us. So we need to find out a solid relationship for the sake of Egypt and benefits and better economy, better future, better humanitarian security in the region, in Africa, with the BRICS countries, with the United States. We couldn't ignore the weight of power from all of our neighbors and the Middle East and the Europeans and the Americans.
Yes, Dr. Osama, also, how do you see the importance of boosting the intra-African trade?
I hope it will be fine. It will be fine.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information. Dr. Ahmed Ossam, member of the Egyptian Council for Foreign Affairs. Ladies and gentlemen, a short break and I want to be back with you.